Hello, this is Clare Norman, Professional Certified Coach with the International Coach Federation, also Certified Supervisor and Mentor Coach for the International Coach Federation. I'd like to talk to you about the similarities and differences between mentor coaching and supervision as part of our continuous professional development. It appears that there is a lot of confusion in the marketplace about what each one does and actually how they are very different. So this is an extract of a workshop that I ran at the International Coach Federation UK conference this year, and I hope that it will help you to understand the differences and the similarities. So let's start by reflecting on mentor coaching. So this focuses on the development of coaching skills. The mentor coach observes or listens, and they assess and provide feedback against the ICF competencies. So the ICF requires mentor coaching for coaches who are going for accreditation to ensure that coaches are modelling the core competencies in service of their clients. But it isn't just a tick box exercise to gain accreditation. Mentor coaching takes you back to conscious competence so that you bring your blind spots into the light. Nor is mentor coaching just about getting an accreditation. So it's a powerful continuous professional development intervention for experienced coaches as well. So curiosity into their own practice makes the invisible visible, and that really brings out their creativity as coaches. So for accreditation though, your mentor coach must be an ICF accredited coach of 3+ years standing. And the mentor coaching can be one-to-one, listening to a recording of your coaching, stopping and starting it to reflect with your mentor coach about how you're displaying the competencies and how you could improve. Or it could be in a group where you each take it in turns to coach another member of the group and receive feedback against the competencies from yourself, your coachee, the observers, and your mentor coach. This has the added benefit, of course, of seeing others in practice and learning from their strengths and opportunities for development as well as your own. But either way, one-to-one or group, you are refocusing your attention on the competencies to bring them back into your consciousness and into your way of being. As one person said to me, it got me to reconsider my methods and address the poor habits I'd got into over many years of coaching. And now I'm more confident that I'm coaching to a higher level. So that's mentor coaching. Let's look at supervision. So this offers the coach broader opportunity for support and development. The coach here is invited to focus much more on what is going on in their own process and where the personal may be intruding on the professional. So it's still with a trained supervisor, ideally, somebody who understands how to hold the space in a safe and constructive way to enable you to process what's going on for you in your coaching sessions and what's working and what's not working. So if we look at the differences between mentor coaching and supervision, I've already said that mentor coaching is skills-based and supervision is formative, normative, restorative. So formative really is the skill building, particularly useful for beginner coaches. The normative piece is around ethical practices, and the restorative piece is around recharging your energy and working on emotional aspects. So you can see how that's much broader and encompasses all sorts of other pieces aside from the skills building. The content of mentor coaching is the 11 core competencies. The content of supervision could be anything that impacts on your coaching delivery. The context of mentor coaching, well, the mentor really is the teacher, the feedback provider, whereas the supervisor can certainly be a teacher, but more often than not is a reflective partner, helping you to figure out for yourself what is going on and how you want to do things differently. The purpose of mentor coaching is to build competency. The purpose of supervision is to enhance capacity. And the regularity of mentor coaching, well, for accreditation purposes, you need 10 hours of mentor coaching over a 3-month minimum span of time. But as I said before, don't limit it to when you're going for accreditation. It really is useful whenever you wish to sharpen your edge. Then supervision is an ongoing process, and we should all be taking cases to supervision in order to keep ourselves safe and also keep our clients safe and keep sharp. So the overlaps between the two really are around professionalism, continuous professional development, attending to the person within the coach, and ethics. So both mentor coaching and coaching supervision cover the two of those. But really, mentor coaching highlights the blind spots that supervision might miss due to the self-reported nature of supervision, where coaches tell the story of what's happening between them and their clients, or talk about the tussle with an ethical issue, or discuss their feelings of overwhelm, for example. So you can see how the self-reported nature of supervision might miss vital information about how the coach is being in their coaching sessions. So as one person said to me, I see great value in supervision, but with mentor coaching, there is nowhere to hide, which was even more valuable to me to develop and grow. So let's now move on to talk about how I go about doing group mentor coaching and one-to-one, and also the same with supervision group and one-to-one. So I have a weekend which I call the lock-in, and this enables you to sharpen your coaching skills through 6 hours of group mentor coaching, where each person practices one-to-one coaching with feedback and learns from others' practice and feedback, as I mentioned before. And we also go deeper during 1 hour of one-to-one mentor coaching, reflecting together on a recording. And the reason it's called the lock-in is that people get the opportunity to record their coaching and CPD hours. And that's the piece that many people struggle to find the motivation for when they're going for their accreditation. So bringing them all together in one spot and having some really good meaty time to sit down and work through that enables people to break the back of it and feel like actually it's not such a big deal after all. So the lock-in is a mixture of mentor coaching and completing the paperwork for accreditation. And it uses the PCC markers, so the professional certified coach markers, for the feedback piece on the mentor coaching. So it's really getting everybody, whether they're going for ACC or PCC, up to a really great standard. So that's the lock-in. That's how I go about doing the group mentor coaching. Let's now talk about one-to-one mentor coaching using recordings. So I use Zoom, and we share the screen and share audio. So we're listening to a recording of their real coaching, and we stop and start the recording to reflect on their coaching competencies. So I might be asking things like, how did the contracting go? What are you noticing as you listen to this? What was going on for you at that moment? How might you use that as a piece of direct communication in service of the client? And when you said X, that was a good example of whatever competency. And I wonder how you might increase your another competency. So that's how I go about doing the one-to-one mentor coaching. And if you're interested in how I do supervision, again, group and one-to-one, I run two varieties of group supervision. One is face-to-face in the New Forest, so it has a wonderful retreat-like nurturing aspect to it. And the other is virtual, and that really replicates and models how coaches often coach, which is virtual. So, you know, we're getting into some really good parallel process there, learning by doing. For either one of these, it's 6 sessions of 3.5 hours over 12 months, and each supervisee gets the chance to be supervised by the group, with the safe space being created and held by me. So a couple of testimonials from clients there. This was my first experience of supervision, and I wish I had invested in it much earlier in my coaching career. Supervision is not a cost, it is a gift to yourself, both as a professional coach and as a person. Clare is an expert in holding the space, facilitating the process, and growing you as a coach. So lovely feedback there. In terms of one-to-one supervision, then, this is usually virtual by phone and is usually 1 hour dedicated to you to go deep into your issues around ethics, coaching relationships, your energy, and patterns of behaviour that you're spotting. So hopefully you can now see what the differences and similarities are between the two. In terms of when to use them then, I really believe that mentor coaching and supervision are the most individually tailored and therefore the most high impact continuous professional development opportunities. You know, they're targeted at you and at your stuff, your issues, unlike training, which can be somewhat sheep dip, and you know, you get some things that are useful to you, but the whole doesn't give you as much as when you're really focused on you and what you need. But when would you actually use mentor coaching, and when would you use supervision? So here's what I'm thinking. You'd come for mentor coaching when you want to sharpen your competency edge, and when you're working towards an ICF credential or re-credential, but not only then, whenever you wish to sharpen your edge. You'd come to supervision when you want to stay safe ethically, when you want to reflect on your relationship with your clients, when you want to restore your own energy, when you want to look at patterns of behaviour, whether that's yours or theirs, and in particular when the personal intrudes on the professional. So that's how you would know when to use each one, and I'd argue that, you know, we might want to think about using both of them side by side. And I do give that opportunity in my supervision groups for people to receive mentor coaching as an alternative option within the group. So let me finish there and simply say thank you for listening. I hope it's been useful to you. Please do watch out for an article about the lock-in in Coaching at Work next month. That may shed some more light for you. And of course, I must say there are other mentor coaches and supervisors available, but I hope this has given you a flavour of what the two of them are in general, but also how I go about doing mentor coaching and supervision. So I look forward to hearing from you if and when you are interested in joining a group or one-to-one. Thank you. Goodbye.